Good morning, members, and welcome to our meeting of Full Council today. This meeting is being live streamed and recorded, and the recording will be made available on the Council's website for public listening. Could I remind councillors to follow the good practice guidance, which includes muting microphones and switching off your video when you're not addressing the meeting. Writing S in the Teams chat function when you want to contribute rather than raising your hand. And if you're in the hall, you can do this on your iPhone or iPad. Please, for those in the room without access to Microsoft Teams chat, if you wish to speak, please catch the attention of Nick Evans, who will speak into the chat. Please don't repeat contributions already made by other members. No material should be posted in the chat function if it is intended as part of the debate. The usual standing orders apply, including that any votes will be undertaken by roll call. If any member has to leave the meeting, please either leave the Teams meeting for that period of time or write leave in the Teams chat function and then join when you rejoin the meeting so we can keep track on whether the meeting is quorate. All members should speak clearly and directly into the microphone when making contributions, and when referring to reports, please provide reference to the relevant page and paragraph to allow everyone to follow. Please focus contributions on areas where clarification is required or to propose an alternative recommendation. Members may notice that when calling members to speak, I will refer to them formally using their title, for example, Councillor Jones, so that it is clear who is a councillor and who, by process of elimination, is an officer. I'd like to remind members of the steps when considering motions and amendments which are substantive in nature, and as previously stated, this will make proceedings easier to manage and clearer for everybody, including the public. We have scheduled a break for lunch around 1 p.m, which will be assessed as we proceed through the agenda, and I will call regular comfort breaks throughout the agenda if required. Before turning to our published agenda, I would just like to say a few words. It was with great sadness that we learned of the recent passing of former Dumfries and Galloway councillor and Liberal Democrat leader Sandra McDowell, after a very short illness. Sandra served as an elected member for Wigton for 13 years, from 1999 to 2012. During her years as a councillor, she made a significant contribution to this council as Chair of Education Committee and as Chair of Mid-Galloway Area Committee. Following her retirement, she held roles including chairing the Wigton Book Festival Company and was involved in the Wigton Booktown project, later operating as the chair for 6 years. More recently, she was the vice chair and secretary of the Galloway National Park Association. She was a contributor to the Wigton Borderlands Plan and a board member of Wigtonshire Women's Aid, and she held the role of convener of Wigton Community Council and spoke at a regional community council day just back in September, sharing her experiences. I know through conversations with all of the Ward 2 councillors how much Sandra's tireless championing of Wigtonshire will be greatly missed, and we'd like to pass on our heartfelt condolences to her family during this difficult time. I would also like to invite Councillor Brodie to say a few words, please. Thank you.
Thanks, Convener. I would like to say a few words in remembrance of Sandra McDowell, an outstanding councillor, a community champion, a compassionate friend and mentor. Sandra was a force of nature. She served for 3 terms as Lib Dem, Dumfries and Galloway Council for the Mid-Galloway and Wigtown West Ward. Amongst her roles, she was the chair of the Education and Learning Committee for a number of years, steering a steady and wise course through politically choppy waters of that time. When I first became a G&G councillor 19 years ago, she was my group leader when we were in minority administration within Conservatives. Not what I really envisaged as an ideal situation when I signed up, but Sandra taught me the importance of working closely with other councillors of different political hues whose ideas might be complete anathema to what I believe. Our council will only succeed if we work together, and that's why during my time here that I've tried to take on board everybody's opinion. Sandra was my mentor, eased my transition into the council, and smoothed off some of my many rough edges. It will, however, be as a fantastic community champion for which Sandra will be remembered. She was Mrs. Wigtown. She was a key figure in setting up the Wigtown Book Festival, and she chaired the festival committee for many years after retiring from this place. She was the chairman of the Community Council as well, and was instrumental in the economic development of a beloved Wigtown. She was also a fervent supporter of the concept of a Galloway National Park, and saw the many benefits and opportunities which it could offer. Many will miss her enthusiasm and her compassion. She'll be sorely missed by her husband Alan, children and grandchildren. Our thoughts go out to them. Sandra McDowell, rest in peace.
Thank you, Richard, and once again, I think on behalf of everyone, we offer the condolences to the family. So I would like to raise one other issue before we move on to our agenda. And like me, I'm sure all members will have been horrified by the incident that took place last weekend outside the Mercure Hotel in Dumfries, which is currently occupied by asylum seekers while their case for refugee status is investigated by the UK Home Office. This racially motivated protest was completely unacceptable, and the actions and abusive words cannot be tolerated. Many members will have seen what took place on social media, including vile racist taunts and far-right rhetoric. It is important to stress that this is in stark contrast with the values we in the Council have, and I trust the vast majority of people across our region hold. It is important to be clear that the alleged incident involving an asylum seeker in Dumfries town centre should be thoroughly investigated by the police. If crimes are identified, and the person or persons responsible should be brought to justice. However, this in no way justifies what took place at the Mercure Hotel. Residents and staff in the hotel must have been in fear for their safety, and it is important that we as elected members show leadership in our roles and express our rejection and abhorrence at what took place. I am aware that Councillor Doogie Campbell has written to the Chief Superintendent regarding this incident, and I as convener and civic head intend to write to him also. While we are clear that the Council has no role in the procurement, contracting or operational arrangements for contingency accommodation for asylum seekers, and that these arrangements are made directly by the UK Home Office, I also trust that officers with responsibility for our Council's proud and long-standing support for refugees and asylum seekers will do everything possible in response to the incident. So, members, turning to our agenda today, we are focused on the Dumfries and Galloway budget and council tax setting for 26-27. We have 4 budget proposals to consider, and I'm going to take a few moments to outline how I intend to conduct the meeting, which I have shared with all group leaders. All 4 group budget proposals were provided to the Chief Financial Officer by Wednesday, the 11th of February 26, and were made public and issued to all council members on Tuesday, the 24th of February. The budget contains both revenue and capital proposals and have been submitted within the agreed timelines. I draw members' attention to Standing Orders 10.2.6, which states that the mover of a motion or amendment shall not speak for more than 5 minutes. Each succeeding speaker shall speak for not more than 2 minutes and shall speak only once in the same discussion, unless to call attention to a point of order or with the sanction of the convener to make an explanation. I shall therefore permit the movers of the 4 proposed budgets to answer questions from members on the content of their budgets. The 4 budgets submitted are the SNP administration budget, with mover leader Councillor Stephen Thompson and seconder Councillor Ben Dashper; the Conservative and Unionist group budget, which has the mover of Councillor Grail McGregor and seconder of Councillor Malcolm Johnston; the Labour group budget, with the mover Councillor Carolyn Wilson, and seconder Councillor Linda Dorward, and the Navante Group budget with the mover of Councillor Andrew Gusty and seconder of Councillor Richard Marsh. I shall come to the mover and seconder of each of these budgets in that order, which is based on proportionality, before opening up for debate and questions. If any of the movers wish to answer a member's question, they should indicate their wish to speak in the same way a councillor officer would if they wish to answer a question on a report. For the avoidance of doubt, these members are also entitled to make a contribution to the debate. If a procedure motion is proposed, the debate on the budget motion will be suspended. This will enable the procedural motion to be debated and a vote taken. Contributions to the debate on a procedural motion are separate and won't prevent a member from making contributions on the debate on the budget, and the provisions of the Standing Orders 10.2.6 will apply. So I hope that is clear for everyone as we move on to the agenda. So I will first of all, number one, Sedern and apologies. Vlad, could you provide us with those, please?
Thank you, Convener, and good morning, members. I can confirm we have 41 members present in total, 29 members present in person here at Council HQ, and 12 members present on Microsoft Teams.
Thank you, Vlad. Now, item 2 is declarations of interest. Do any members have a declaration of interest or statement of connection they wish to make? No, I'm not seeing anything. Thank you, members. So, moving on to item 3 is the council tax restrictions on voting. This is a procedural report presented in accordance with the provisions of the Local Government Finance Act 1992, which came into force with effect from the 6th of March 1992, and which may affect members' voting rights on council tax matters. It is a legal requirement that a member who is 2 or more months in arrears of council tax does not have voting rights in relation to fixing the council tax and requires to make a declaration to that effect. Nick Evans is here to assist members with any questions, and I'll just finally ask if there's any comments on this one, members. Nope. Okay. Thank you, members. So the recommendation is for members are asked to note the provisions of section 112 of the Local Government Finance Act 1992, which removes a member's voting right on council matters in certain specified circumstances and places the onus on disclosure on individual members. Are we happy to note that? Thank you, members. Item 4 is the budget and council tax for 2026-27 to 28-29. This report provides information to assist members in determining the council's budget, council tax levels and capital investment strategy for the 3-year period. Paul Garrett, our Chief Financial Officer, and Gillian Ross, our Finance and Accounting Manager, are here to assist with any questions. And I'll just open it up for any questions, members. Councillor Johnson.
Thank you, Convener. I've been involved in the budget setting process for a number of years. It seems like quite a long time. But I'm just going to go straight to page 13. It's 4.7. It's about the savings and income generation options. And it says in the last sentence of, I think it's the 3rd paragraph, in addition, individual political groups were able to request further measures to be identified and progressed as part of the agreed budget process for reflection on individual group budget proposals. Well, what I'm about to say here is, whilst I appreciate all the hard work everyone's put in and all the information that was given, and in our own experience, requesting information that was handled well, but I do feel that as councillors, we make budget decisions here without necessarily the fullness of information, particularly regarding the core budget items. In previous years, we had what was called activity-based budgeting. And I think going forward, for better informed decisions and decisions that, as elected members, we are put here to represent the residents of Dumfries and Galloway, And I think it is only reasonable that we get the information that we used to get with the activity-based budgeting system to enable us to prepare a budget that fully reflects the wishes and for the benefit of the residents of Dumfries and Galloway. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Councillor Johnson. I'll come to Paul just for any comments, first of all, please.
Yes, obviously in members' hands in terms of the level of information that they would seek to support future budget setting considerations. Obviously, each year we do release the detailed service budget estimates book, and that's made available to all members. That supplies the same level of financial detail that was previously there in terms of the individual council service budgets, but we could also look towards further information in relation to activity. It's generally reflected in the business plans and service plans that are developed by services and presented to relevant committees now. So the move away from a combined activity-based budgeting and budget estimates book was actually when we introduced greater detail in the service budget plans. So similar information is now made available, but there's a separation between service budget plans and the detailed financial budget estimates.
Does that answer your question, Councillor Johnson?
It answers the question up to a point. My clear recollection of it was that the activity aspect of it was actually quite important in setting these budget figures, and I think it would be useful to have that again. Thank you.
Thank you for that. I've got the leader looking to come in, so Councillor Thompson.
Thanks, Convener. And yeah, I would be inclined to agree. I think the activity-based budget, while we do separate out into our business plans and service committees, which is useful and allows that focused scrutiny at a committee level, I think especially for the smaller number of people that are focused on the budget setting activities, the ABB, as it was called, was certainly a good one-stop shop to get that level of information. I know it's maybe a bit of a printing nightmare, but I think it's within our resources to be able to provide that, and I'd certainly support that. As part of maybe a review of the budget setting process, we can pick that up, I would hope. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Leader. And I'm seeing lots of nods round the room. Paul, do you want to come in and comment on that? No?
No, happy to support that, and obviously it's a major piece of work to bring some of that information back together, but absolutely we'll look to support that members' consideration there.
Thank you. I'm not seeing any other hands up or comments at this point, so if we are content, we can move to the recommendation. And the recommendation, members are being asked to consider the information reflected in this report as part of determining a balanced revenue budget, associated council tax and updated capital investment strategy for the financial planning period of 2026-27 to 2028-29. So our members agreed with the recommendation. Thank you, members. So we will move on to item 5, which is the presentation of budget proposals. And I will pass to the leader to propose the administration budget before coming to each of the groups as previously indicated. So, Councillor Thompson, leader.
Thanks, Convener. Rather than go straight into the proposing in second, and I think now that we've actually seen all the motions and the various budgets from Tuesday, I would ask for a recess, because I think we have to consider across the various motions that have been presented and the budgets. There are things that some groups may have looked at and thought that was actually a good idea that we didn't include. So rather than a rehearsed speech about what we actually published, I think now's the time to have that recess to consider amending. I'd be inclined to want to amend our motion to try and capture some of the good ideas across the council, so I would ask for a recess in order to do that. Thank you.
Thank you for that, leader. So, members, if we're content, there's a request to take a recess now, and I am seeing some nods in the group in the room. We've not had anything formally moved or seconded as yet. So if members are content, we can move to a recess. I'll just check with the leader and with governance how long you're looking to have that recess for.
I mean, depends how the conversations go, I guess. But it might be worth taking at least half an hour, I think. And obviously, we can come back and extend that if need be. Thank you.
Thank you. So it is 10 to 11 now. If we take 30 minutes, I see that Councillor Hislop is wanting to speak online, although we are about to move to a recess. But Councillor Hislop, I will bring you in, please.
Chair, I would move that we do not take a recess. I think we should go straight to the motions and amendments, then take the recess and come back at that point. Otherwise, we're going to have a recess, possibly not have a resolution, then another recess after we've heard the four budget proposals. So in the be more efficient view, I think we should actually just move to hear the proposals, then take the recess.
Thank you, Councillor Hislop. I'll just seek some governance advice on this one. However, I've been really clear with all the groupings and all the group leaders that we will go as slow as we need to go in order to get the correct budget agreed today. I'm conscious that we do not have any one majority across the chamber today, and there are four budgets to be discussed. There has been a request, and obviously there's now a counter request on that one, so I'll just maybe seek some governance advice from Vlad in terms of the procedure.
I think we've been here before, members, in terms of recess. Ultimately, convener, you do have the decision making around procedure on the day, so you can call a recess. However, obviously listening to Councillor Hislop, he's put another proposal for consideration from full council, so it's whether you know, the majority are looking to have that recess, or whether we need to go to a vote on having a recess at this stage.
Okay. Thank you for that. So that's quite clear. I mean, as I said at the start, I am happy and content to move to a recess. So in terms of sort of formally seconding that request, I'm happy to move for a 30-minute recess. But if members wish to debate otherwise, I'm not seeing anybody coming in. So members will move to a recess. We will come back at 11:20. Thank you. Thank you, members. Members, I've been made aware that there will be an amendment submitted, and in order for the due diligence to be taken place and for any amendments to be checked by the Section 95 officer, there's a request for a further amendment to adjournment till 12 o'clock to allow that due process, because we do have to ensure that the budgets presented are both legally balanced and also have been fully impact assessments. So that offer is open to all groupings should they wish to amend their budgets, and there has been a request for that. So I'm going to call a further adjournment of the meeting until 12. Thank you. Or recess, I should say. Thank you. Thank you, members. So, returning to the agenda, item 5, I have been informed that there are 2 amendments that have come in to the published budgets. These have both been through the Section 95 officer, and also they have both been fully impact assessed. So just my thanks to officers who have been working at pace to support all elected members in this. So I will move to the mover and seconder of each of the budgets. I've been informed that the amendments have all been emailed to all members as well, and they'll be put on the screen when members are speaking to their motions and their budgets as well. Again, if any member, once we've circulated that, needs additional time, we can take it from there. But in the meantime, I will invite the leader to propose and second the SNP administration budget. Thank you.
Thank you, Convener, and thanks, members, for your patience, because obviously I think we want to try and get to the best budget for the whole council on the day, and obviously there will be a vote, but hopefully there'll be things included in the budget that recognise the contributions from other budgets that have been put forward, and indeed other motions, and hopefully you're starting to see that in your inboxes now in terms of the amendments to the motion. I think all the motions have the same first 4 bullet points, which I think we can all agree is standard across the piece, and I'd like to thank the Section 95 officer for pulling together the summary, which included all the, I suppose, the similarities and the differences between the budgets, which is always a helpful go-to point just to get that summary. As always, there's not that much in many ways between the budgets. The bulk of what we spend is not what we're dealing with. We're often dealing with that fraction of the budget which is to do with savings and policy development, which is usually about 2.5% to 3%. So there's a number of savings that weren't taken by any group. There were some that were taken by all groups, and there were some that were partially taken or partially not taken, etc. So I think it just goes to show that when it comes to it, there's not that much between us, but that doesn't mean the differences aren't important. So I would like to propose our budget as amended. There are a couple of things that have changed. We have recognised some of the motions put forward by other groups, and we've included especially recognising the transport issues around Lower Eskdale and other parts of the region. I think this has long been known as an issue, and that could extend to Upper Nithsdale and parts of Wigtonshire as well. So we've put a budget line in there already, which has already been published in terms of developing community transport solutions. But I think there's further work to do on that in terms of with that initial focus on Lower Eskdale. Very happy to include that in the wider motion, and also to strengthen the and basically reinforce how we go forward in terms of school estate strategy. We've included that in our motion as well. We've also included the power plan motion, because I think that's something that we actually had in the motion last year, but I think there's maybe been, it would be helpful if there was more detail and clarity about what that looks like, so that's why that's there. And also in terms of the tree cutting and maintenance, about how we can bring that back in-house. We know that timber industry and trees and the impact after storms, for example, are quite a big deal across the region. It's just part of the geography that we're in. Additionally to that, and you may see some changes in the published spreadsheet that relate to the policy development funding. So we've included additional funds based on other groups' templates for ASL, our own road repairs, which we've had to sort of bring down a little bit, but that'll come back to the relevant committee. Play parks and street scene community assets. Again, these reports will come back to the relevant committee so members can fully see the detail, but that additional money is now included in our budget. We've also changed our savings to not take the police officers and school saving, and again that should be, it will be reflected in the budgets that have been circulated. But for, it's a recognised template, so it doesn't need further impact assessed. It's just that we're not taking it. So I think that's now showing up on the screen there. Yeah, and that some of those reflect over a recurring funding. Some of them are just for year 1 or year 1 and year 2. Hopefully that's clear from what's been circulated. I don't really have anything else other to add, other than in order to do that, we've had to put up council tax to 8% instead of 7.5%. but ultimately we have to get to a balanced budget, and I'm assured that the figures at the bottom there, which is 15k minus 14 and 704, are within the tolerable limits in terms of the Section 95 officer, so I'm confident with that, and with that I would so propose. Thank you.
Thank you, Leader. And I have Councillor Ben Dashper to second. Councillor Dashper.
Thank you, Convener. I'm happy to second. Thanks.
Thank you, members. So I will now invite other groups to propose and second their motions, starting with the Conservative and Unionist group. So Councillor McGregor, I'll come to yourself, please.
Thank you very much, Convener, and good afternoon, members. I'm very mindful of time. I'd first like to thank Paul and Gillian in the finance team and their colleagues in other parts of the council that have assisted members in developing their budgets today and in the months in the run-up to the development of budgets, and our personal thanks to Malcolm and Ivor for their hard work for developing our budget over recent months. The Conservative budget is, as you would be unsurprised to see, a no-frills, fairly boring, quite bland budget. It's a budget which balances the books. It does not dip into additional balances to do so. And it offers the lowest council tax, and it's an absolute recognition of the fact that we have a low-wage economy in Dumfries and Galloway, that families and households are struggling, and members in this chamber may be able to afford an extra 2 or 3% on top of, but there are people out there in our communities who simply can't, which is why we were able to develop a budget which protects our frontline services, takes modest operational efficiencies and savings, but still keeps the council tax at 6.25% for our communities. We need to, as members, I feel, focus on good delivery of services, ensuring that every pound that is spent in Dumfries and Galloway is a pound well spent. Within our budget, there is £22.1 million that will be committed to roads in the next financial year, and we need to be sure that the quality controls on the services and the investment that we make across the region are absolutely solid, and we are getting value for money. There is no point in putting cherries on top of a cake if the sponge is crumbling, and what we need to do in our prudent budget is firm up the sponge so that when we do get to a point where we have additional funding to invest, that we know that that investment is going to be worth value. So we, as I say, are delivering a balanced budget with minimal savings and the lowest council tax, but it enables us to, I hope, continue to deliver core services, and through our council plan ensure that the deliverables are achieved, and through scrutiny of members that we are spending our budget in the absolute best way that we can, and as such I commend our budget. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor McGregor. Councillor Malcolm Johnson, would you like to second?
Thank you, Convener. At the risk of repeating Councillor McGregor, I would just like to second the budget. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Moving on to the third budget, I have Councillor Carolyn Wilson looking to propose the Labour Group budget, please.
Thank you, Convener. And I would also like to place my thanks on record to Paul and Gillian especially, as well as other officers across all levels that have helped us with our budget when we've had queries, or even helping us with our policy development. So just to make sure that is on record, thank you. So this budget setting process is taking place in a context of record levels of funding being available to the Scottish Government, but with councils continuing to be put under pressure to fund schools, social care and local services. And it's also clear that there is a risk this situation could continue over the next couple of years. So it's in that context that the Labour Group have made difficult decisions to protect as many services and jobs as possible. We could have opted for a lower increase to council tax, but that would have meant taking over £3.5 million in cuts to council services and jobs, and that was something that we're just not happy to do. So our budget proposals today do make some cuts to current budgets. We've tried to protect essential services as much as possible. We have been clear that it's unacceptable for more managers when we're having to make cuts. So our budget proposal will see a cut of nearly £300,000 in senior leadership and management costs from 2027 to 28, reversing the decision to increase the costs of senior management taken at the restructure and making further savings in management costs. Our budget also makes investments for the people of Dumfries and Galloway. We're proposing investing an additional £298,000 on top of the £630,000 core funding to tackle poverty, supporting our most vulnerable residents. We've listened to our local communities regarding the state of our high streets, towns and villages, and our budget is proposing investment in community assets to get back to basics of keeping our streets clean and tidy. And the investment would also provide planting of flowers again in some of our towns following the closure of the garden nursery last year, something that we did not support at the time. We're also proposing investment in Play Park Fund, which would encourage local communities to work in partnership with the council to carry on the good work of the inclusive play parks projects and very much empowering our communities. And we're also proposing that we increase the Devolved School Management Fund, which puts more money into individual schools. We're well aware that school staff at times are purchasing resources out of their own pockets, and I've said this before, like everybody knows I'm a mum of 6. I've been an active parent council member for a quarter of a century now, and we're now fundraising more and more for items that I don't think should be funded by the council, to be honest. We're also proposing the reinstatement of lay-by bins, because when the original saving was agreed last year, it was on the basis that the work detailed in that template would take place, and this work has not been done. And even when questioned, I know that I was assured that there was no cost to the council, but the community groups are now litter picking far more than they ever were previously. We're also asking for a report to come to Economy and Infrastructure Committee to have a Dumfries and Galloway power plan. This is something we brought forward last year. Other councils are saving money by generating clean power, and GB Energy and the UK government have recently published a local power plan, and their plan has a target of generating 8 gigawatts of clean community-owned power by 2030 and has funding and wider support available to local authorities. And had we acted quicker, we could have been making the most of this opportunity already. But there is, I don't think there's any time to waste now. We've also got in about bringing the tree works back in-house. And although we haven't included it in our motion, there is parts of other groups' motions that we would fully support. And just to finish off by saying that we do believe this is a good budget for the people of Dumfries and Galloway. And we know that other groups have taken some of our ideas into their budgets, and so we'll just conclude by saying if you like the ideas in our budget, then that's the one you should vote for. Thank you. And I'll move my budget motion. Thanks.
Thank you. So I'll bring in Councillor Linda Dorward to second, please.
Thank you, Convener. Good afternoon, members. Doesn't time fly when you're having fun? Can I again thank Paul and his team who've supported us for this and previous budget processes, and also thanks to our executive directors and their teams for their support and advice throughout this process and previous processes. Can I just mention that the budget settlement itself is it's nothing sort of catastrophic for local authorities, including ours. COSLA see it, the Accounts Commission see it, and the IFS see it. Local government's being left in crisis, and this Scottish Government has chosen to look the other way. We know the numbers, so I'll not go into them. They translate directly into services cut, support withdrawn, and our most vulnerable residents, those with the least power and seldom heard voices, taking the biggest hit. My colleague, Councillor Wilson, mentioned that the Scottish Government has received the biggest settlement since devolution from the UK Government, and I'll say how much it is. It's £11 million. You know, and what we would like to know is, where has this money gone? 11 billion, sorry, pounds, not million, billion. That was a deliberate mistake. It wasn't. You know, where's the money gone? Because it's certainly not reaching local authorities, it's certainly not reaching Dumfries and Galloway, and it's certainly not helping the people who need it most. So, as a group, we proposed a responsible, values-driven budget with an extremely restricted financial parameters. We refuse to cut too deep, and we refuse to abandon the people who rely on us. Our message is simple. We will not allow Dumfries and Galloway to be run down. We will build it up. Residents want ambition, pride and a future in their communities, and so do we. Would we go further with a fair settlement? Yes. We want a shift to prevention.
That's 20 seconds left. Thank
you. Can I get the 5 seconds back that you told me that? We want to shift to prevention, sustainability and early intervention, but we cannot do that when the Scottish Government continues to strip local governments of the resources required to deliver it. So yes, we will push to keep transforming our own services. Yes, we will push to innovate and improve internally, but let me be clear, local transformation cannot compensate for national neglect. Members, I urge you to vote for this budget. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. And yes, you had an extra 15 seconds there, but let's... No problem. Thank you very much both. So I'll move on to the fourth budget, which will be proposed by Councillor Andy Giusti.
Thank you, Chair. And this is one of those days when I should have brought my magical glasses that I always talk about, but never end up bringing. Today we are presented with 4 different paths for Dumfries and Galloway. Some choose a path of managed decline, cutting back until there's nothing left to cut. Others choose a path of standing still. The Navanti Group chooses a different road. We chose the road of transformation. Our budget is not just a spreadsheet of numbers. It is a statement of intent. It is a frontline first budget that does exactly what it says on the tin. It delivers public services, it supports our staff, and it pursues excellence for the public at large. I want to address the elephant in the room immediately. Council tax. We are proposing a 9.8% increase. We know that's the highest in the room, but let's boil that down into reality. For a typical Band D property, the difference between the Navanti budget and the lowest proposed raise today is just 99p a week. That's less than £1 a week, and look what you're getting for it. When our constituents say, my tax goes up, but what do I see for it? The Navanti budget provides the answer. Is 99p a week worth for a safe road? Is 99p a week worth for a teacher in a classroom? Is 99p a week protecting our small nurseries? We believe it is. And as I say, all for less than £1 a week for a Band D property. Our infrastructure is the backbone of this region. We are committing £6 million in capital spend over the next 3 years for our roads, not just patching, improving. We're investing £564,000 into our street scene to ensure our plant and equipment are actually up to the task of keeping this region beautiful. We're ensuring the roads are gritted in the winter and the verges are cut in the summer. We are reclaiming our pride in our environment. In education, we are drawing a line in the sand. We're investing £859,000 in year 1 to uplift our secondary teacher numbers by 20 full-time equivalents. Right now, we have a postcode lottery. In schools like Shannara Academy, the current ratios mean that while the paper numbers look fine, the reality on the ground is that complex needs are being met at the expense of general subject choices and class sizes. This investment ensures equity across the region and that our students with the most needs are cared for. Furthermore, we are putting £584,000 into assisted learning support in year 1, rising to £1 million by years 2 and 3. We're ensuring that the support in school is where children with additional needs can go to school with confidence that they will have the support they need, and we are not cutting ASL. We are investing in the environmental health to ensure the public can eat out with confidence. Addressing the clear pressure shown in our recent audit, we're investing £418,000 into youth work to reduce antisocial behaviour and inspire our young people. We are also putting £250,000 back into the area committees. We trust local members to know their communities best. This funding allows local projects to breathe and grow. To our staff, we hear you. We are proposing a change to the redeployment policy to a redundancy of last resort. No one should be stuck in a redeployment loop. We must allow staff to leave with dignity and move on if they are displaced. And to the council structure itself, we will seek in-year savings via a member-led restructure. We need a council where departments sit where they make sense, strengthening the ability of elected members to make the decisions they were voted to make. We have accepted aspects of other groups' motions to capture the feeling of this council and ensure every member is heard as part of an independent budget. That you'll see in the written motion. There's some good ideas. There's a lot of good councillors in this room. There's a lot of people that know what they're doing and what they're talking about, and I think we need to be very conscious of that, and that's what we're trying to do. And for a closing and thanks, Convener, I would like to finish by thanking Paul Garrett, Gillian Ross and their entire team for their patience, drive and sterling commitment to balancing these books. They deserve our thanks of every member in this chamber and the public of Dumfries and Galloway.
Thank you, Councillor. And Councillor Richard Marsh, do you want to come in second?
Thank you, Convener, and thank you, Councillor Giusti. Before I begin, I would like to reiterate Councillor Giusti and pay my sincere thanks to Paul Garrett, Gillian Ross and all in the Finance Department. They have put in an enormous amount of work, effort and dedication over the past weeks and months. Their patience in helping formulate the budgets we see before us today has been exemplary, and we truly thank them for all their help and support. We are exceptionally fortunate to have them at the helm of our Finance Department. This is the first Navanti Group Council budget, of which I am tremendously proud. Special thanks must be given to Councillor Andrew Giusti, as well as my fellow Navanti Group members, for coming together to make this possible. We are all aware of the gravity of the financial situation faced by this Council. We have a £7.9 million deficit to fill, in addition to the severe financial pressures being faced by a health and social care partnership, that being a £8.7 million in-year deficit, in addition to the £7.6 million projected shortfall for the coming year. The Navanti Group could have chosen to simply manage that decline. We could have presented another Groundhog Day budget that tinkers at the edges and fills the gaps, while our services slowly continue to be eroded. But the Navanti Group refuses to accept that as the future of Dumfries and Galloway. We have listened to our constituents, our third sector partners and our staff on the front line. With this Navanti Group budget, we are delivering a clear vision, a progressive, transformative budget that invests in our towns, villages and our people.
Seconds.
I would like an extra 15. Like Councillor Dormer, thank you. Yes, the Navanti Group proposes the highest rising council tax at 9.8%. However, let's be absolutely clear, for an additional 99 pence a week over and above the average Band D property that would be paying under the lowest rise we see today at 6.2%, we believe we're delivering a truly transformative budget. For a small weekly difference of 99 pence, we are unlocking £3.4 million in additional target investment directly to the front line.
Can you draw to a close, please? That's your time and over.
Okay, the Navanti Group budget is delivering tangible, positive changes right at the heart of our communities. Lastly, we choose investment, we choose the front line, and we would ask members to choose this as a clear vision for the future of Dumfries and Galloway. I will proudly second this motion.
Thank you, members. Appreciate there's lots that people wish to maybe say in these budgets, but I really appreciate everybody for mostly keeping in time. So thank you to all the movers and seconders, and I will open up to debate. I'm just aware, I have been made aware that lunch is available. We've had lots of breaks, and I'm in your hands, members, but we have a debate and we will move to the vote as swiftly as possible, is what I would say. But first of all, is there any questions or comments on debate that members wish to have? No, I'm not seeing anybody. Oh, yeah, Councillor Brody.
Thanks, Convener. No doubt, like everyone else, you're asking that perennial question, where is the Lib Dem budget? I'm also asking that question, not only where is it, but who has stolen the Lib Dem budget? This year we have a whodunit. Which one of you budget proposers purloined the Lib Dem budget in a robbery motivated by pure jealousy and desperation? I had it all arranged, the speech manicured, the figures meticulous. I had all the plans in place to make budget day a special occasion for Dumfries and Galloway. I was going to add the piece of Ed Davy Razzmatazz. I've spoken to the contractors working in the council offices to transform this chamber into a resplendent big top. I'd even hired a magnificent red ringmaster suit for you, Convener, to help you control this circus and crack the whip. On the ground level will be the usual activities. Politicians trying forlornly to juggle Indian budget clubs, spinning sugary political plates, and attempting to swallow an impossible sword which had been handed to us by our masters in Holyrood and Westminster. In fact, these parliamentary representatives would be there, dressed as clowns, doing a number in the old council jalopy, the doors falling off, the engine blowing a gasket, and them honking gleefully at the old car's horn. And the mantra was, local government is dead. But where was I in all this? Take a good look at the ceiling between the chandeliers. There I was on my scaffold, on my platform, in my sequin leotard, the front emblazoned in gold, diamante jewels with initials MAGA, Make Annan Great Again. There I was, perched in my swing in the spotlight. I fly down in the air with the greatest of ease, the daring young limb dem on the flying trapeze. See me fly, gasp as I execute a triple mid-air somersault, thrill as I land perfectly the travelling in the middle of the chamber.
You have
Listen in
20
awe
seconds,
as I deliver
Councillor.
the greatest budget
20
speech
seconds, please.
ever recorded. What did you say, Chairman Mayor?
You had 20 seconds.
left.
Right. You're going to miss the most important part of it. Well, I'm no proof, but only circumstantial evidence. I was chomped over the head with a copy of the Stranraer Free Press, and my sleep has been interrupted by the sounds of tribal drums from an ancient British tribe. So, in conclusion, I'd say there is only one budget which meets the expectations of the Liberal Democrats, and that is Navantai.
Thank you, Councillor.
Thank you.
I don't see any other hands up or questions. So in that case, we have got 4 budgets that have all been duly proposed and seconded. So I will turn to Vlad just to talk through the process of voting, please.
Thank you, Convener. I'll go through this, so just bear with me if that's okay, in terms of we've got obviously 4 motions and budgets. First and foremost, we've got a motion from the administration which is proposed or moved by Councillor Thompson and seconded by Councillor Dashbar. We've got an amendment which is a Conservative budget, and that was moved by Councillor McGregor and seconded by Councillor Malcolm Johnson. We've got a counter amendment from the Labour group, and that's moved by Councillor Wilson and seconded by Councillor Dorward. And lastly, we've got a counter amendment from the Navanti group, moved by Councillor Giusti and seconded by Councillor Marsh. And I'll read out standing orders so that we're clear in terms of the process. When a motion, an amendment or a counter amendments are before a meeting, the last counter amendment, in this instance will be counter amendment, shall be voted on against the second last until the position is reached whereby a final vote shall be taken as between the successful amendment and the motion. Are all members clear? So our starting point will be the counter amendment against the counter amendment.
Do you want to just be clear that counter is Labour and counter is Navanti?
Yeah, and just to clarify again, counter amendment is Labour and counter amendment is Navanti. Are we all clear, members? Yep. Okay, so we'll just go to the roll call for this stage. Convener?
Counter amendment.
Deputy Convener?
Counter amendment.
Councillor Bell?
Abstain.
Councillor Beretti?
Counter amendment.
Councillor Blake?
Abstain.
Councillor Brodie?
Counter.
Councillor Dougie Campbell?
Counter.
Councillor John Campbell?
Counter amendment, please.
Councillor Karen Carruthers?
Counter.
Councillor Curry?
Abstain.
Councillor Dashbar?
Counter.
Councillor Davis?
Abstain.
Councillor Dempster?
Counter.
Councillor Dorward?
Counter amendment, please.
Councillor Drybra?
Counter amendment, please.
Councillor Drysdale?
Abstain, please.
Councillor Ferguson?
Counter.
Councillor Giusti?
Counter.
Councillor Hill?
Counter, please.
Councillor Howie.
Abstain.
Councillor Hislop.
Abstain.
Councillor Ingalls.
Counter.
Councillor Jamieson.
Counter.
Councillor Malcolm Johnson.
Abstained.
Councillor Maureen Johnson.
Abstain.
Councillor Jordan.
Counter amendment, please.
Councillor Little.
Counter.
Councillor Lowe.
Counter, please.
Councillor McGregor.
Abstain, please.
Councillor McCammon.
Abstain.
Councillor McFarlane.
Counter amendment, please.
Councillor Mayo.
Counter.
Councillor Marsh.
Counter.
Councillor Marshall.
Counter, please.
Councillor Slater.
Abstain.
Councillor Stevenson.
Counter amendment, please.
Councillor Stitt.
Counter amendment, thank you.
Councillor Walters.
Counter amendment, please.
Councillor Wilson.
Counter amendment, please.
Councillor Wood.
Counter, please.
Counter. Councillor Young.
Counter amendment, please.
Okay, as members will see, the votes are 22 for the counter amendment and 7 for the counter amendment, and therefore the counter amendment, which is the Labour group budget, will move to the next stage, will be carried to the next stage. Okay, and as we just get ready for the next roll call, just to clarify, we've got next will be the amendment against the counter amendment, and the amendment being the Conservative group budget, the counter amendment being the Labour group. Is everyone clear on the voting? Okay, we'll go with the roll call again. Convener?
Abstain.
Deputy Convener?
Abstain.
Councillor Bell?
Amendment.
Councillor Beretti?
Abstain.
Councillor Blake?
Amendment.
Councillor Brodie? Abstain.
Abstain.
Abstain for that. Okay. Councillor Dougie Campbell?
Counter.
Counter. Councillor John Campbell?
Abstain, please.
Councillor Karen Carruthers?
Counter.
Sorry, could you say that again? Couldn't hear it.
Counter amendment.
Counter, thank you. Councillor Curry?
Amendment.
Councillor Dashbar?
Abstain.
Councillor Davis?
Amendment, please.
Councillor Dempster?
Abstain.
Councillor Dorwood?
Counter amendment, please.
Councillor Drybrough?
Counter amendment, please.
Councillor Drysdale?
Amendment, please.
Councillor Ferguson?
Abstain.
Councillor Giusti?
Counter.
Councillor Howe?
Counter amendment, please.
Councillor Howie?
Abstain.
Councillor Hislop?
Amendment.
Councillor Ingalls?
Counter.
Councillor Jamieson?
Abstain.
Councillor Malcolm Johnson?
Amendment.
Councillor Maureen Johnson?
Amendment.
Councillor Jordan?
Counter amendment, please.
Councillor Little?
Abstain.
Councillor Lowe?
Abstain.
Councillor McGregor?
Amendment, please.
Councillor McCammon.
Amendment.
Councillor McFarlane.
Abstain, thanks.
Councillor Mayo.
Amendment.
Councillor Marsh.
Counter.
Councillor Marshall.
Counter, please.
Councillor Slater.
Amendment.
Councillor Stevenson.
Counter amendment, please.
Councillor Stitt.
Counter amendment, thank you.
Councillor Walters.
Counter amendment, thank you.
Councillor Wilson.
Counter amendment, please.
Councillor Wood.
Counter amendment, please.
Councillor Young.
Abstain.
Okay, as members will see, the counter amendment is carried, which is the Labour group proposal, into the next stage of the voting, which will be the counter amendment against the motion. And if you just bear with us, we'll get the roll call. Okay, just to clarify again, the motion is the SNP and administration budget proposal, and the counter amendment is the Labour group proposal. Everyone clear? Okay. Convener?
Motion, please.
Deputy Convener?
Motion.
Councillor Bell?
Abstain.
Councillor Beretti?
Motion.
Councillor Blake?
Abstain.
Councillor Brodie?
Motion.
Councillor Doogie Campbell?
Motion.
Councillor John Campbell?
Motion, please.
Councillor Karen Carruthers?
Counter amendment.
Councillor Curry?
Abstain.
Councillor Dashbar?
Motion.
Councillor Davis?
Abstain.
Councillor Dempster?
Motion.
Councillor Dorwood?
Counter amendment, please.
Councillor Drybra?
Counter amendment.
Councillor Drysdale?
Abstain.
Councillor Ferguson?
Motion.
Councillor Giusti?
Counter.
Councillor Hill?
Counter amendment, please.
Councillor Howie?
Motion, please.
Councillor Hislop?
Abstain.
Councillor Ingalls?
Counter.
Councillor Jameson?
Motion.
Councillor Malcolm Johnson?
Abstain.
Councillor Maureen Johnson?
Abstain.
Councillor Jordan?
Counter amendment, please.
Councillor Little?
Motion.
Councillor Lowe?
Motion, please.
Councillor McGregor?
Abstain.
Councillor McCammon?
Abstain.
Councillor McFarlane?
Motion, thanks.
Councillor Mayo?
Counter.
Councillor Marsh?
Counter.
Councillor Marshall?
Counter, please.
Councillor Slater?
Counter.
Councillor Stevenson?
Counter, please.
Councillor Stitt?
Counter, thank you.
Councillor Walters?
Counter, thank you.
Councillor Wilson?
Counter amendment, please.
Councillor Wood?
Counter amendment, please.
Councillor Young?
Motion.
And as members will see, is 15 votes to 16, and the counter amendment, which is Labour Group, is carried.
Thank you very much, members, and thank you, Vlad, for that. So that concludes item 5, which is the budgets for Dumfries and Galloway Council. Moving on to item 6. Item 6 is the Housing Scotland Act of 2006, the Scheme of Assistance for 26-27. And the purpose of this report is to seek the agreement of Dumfries and Galloway Council to transfer the funding for the delivery of care and repair from the General Capital Grant, which is subject to agreement of the Council budget for 26-27. In addition, members are being asked to consider allocations for the Small Repairs and Home Support Service, Food Train at Home and the Dementia Friendly Design projects to the Integration Joint Board for 26-27 from the Council tax on second and empty homes budget. Furthermore, members are being asked to consider funding for the Council's Trusted Trader Scheme as part of the 26-27 Scheme of Assistance from the Council tax on second and empty homes budget. And we have Jamie Little here, our Strategic Housing and Regeneration Team Leader, to assist members with any questions. So I shall open it up to any questions or comments. I'm not seeing any indication in the room or online. So thank you, Jamie, for being here. And if members are happy to move to the recommendations as printed in the papers, you have recommendation 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. If members are content to agree, yes, agreed. Thank you, everyone. Item 7 is any other business deemed urgent by the Chair due to the need for a decision, and I have no business for urgency for need for a decision. So thank you very much, everyone, for your patience today, and safe travels home. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Chair.